There is a long line to get into this country legally. Is there any kind of discussion about giving people who are coming here the right way money?
Why would we be giving people who are coming here the right way money?
Why are you giving people who came here the wrong way?
I mean, but I don't understand the question. What is you're saying that we should give people just money who are coming through? I don't understand the question.
You're giving people who immigrated here illegally money.
Like I said, that's the Department of Justice. You're going to have to ask them that question.
Build Back Better reconciliation bill just in the last couple of days.
Yeah.
In addition to putting paid leave back into the bill, the Democrats also have raised the limit on state and local tax deductions. All year, the White House has been saying that would be too expensive to do. What changed, and why is the White House backing it now?
Well, as you know, as you just stated, that is not something that we clearly put into the original bill. Look, but the president understands from both Speaker Pelosi and Leader Schumer that for this bill to pass, it needs to address the SALT issue. And because many members of Congress believe the 2017 tax law unfairly targeted their states and localities, including middle-class income Americans, with a $10,000 cap. So it is a long-term sustainable reform that doesn't add at all to the deficit over the decade. And over that period, it will mean that millionaires and billionaires actually pay more than they would otherwise.
Your administration is negotiating cash payments for some illegal immigrants who were separated from family members under the last administration. Why give taxpayer money to people who broke federal law to get here?
You like this question, Peter. We
It's
talked
an important
about
question.
about this yesterday.
But not to the heart of the point, which is that these people broke the law to come here, and they are going to get hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxpayer money.
A couple of things. I mean, I cannot speak to this from here. This is Department of Justice.
And we asked them, and they said no comment, so we have to ask you.
Well, and I'm telling you that this is in litigation, and so you have to talk to the Department of Justice about this. That was the policy of the last administration. That is why we are here today, and that's you asking me this question that I actually cannot answer because you got to go to the Department of Justice to get the particulars. But just be clear, that's why this is happening today.
Okay, so Mitch McConnell and Chuck Grassley have written a letter to the Attorney General. They say that any settlements to illegal aliens because they violated the law are wrong. Does the president agree with that or disagree with that?
So yesterday I addressed and I clarified the president's comments on the thinking on this because you asked him a question and he answered it directly. But anything about the process, again, anything about the specifics or the particulars, I can't answer from here.
Then to internal White House processes, when the ACLU heard the president dismiss the idea of $450,000 payments the other day, the ACLU came out and they said he may not have been fully briefed about the actions of his very own Justice Department. So is the president being kept out of the loop about immigration policymaking?
Again, Peter, the president was asked, you asked him a question, a direct question, he was answering it. I cannot say any more than that.
Why is the president urging lawmakers, as he said this morning, to vote yes on both of these bills right now? Why not give these folks some time to see what the CBO says and do their jobs?
So as you know, the Build Back Better framework that the president put forth and also the bipartisan infrastructure bill is paid for.
I just want to follow up on what you're saying about the cost, because Moody's Analytics says that as the bill is right now in static terms, it would add modestly to the deficit over 10 years. So the numbers are different if you account for potential economic growth, like you were referring to, but that's hard to guarantee. So can you give assurances right here that this will be 100% paid for when everything is said and done? Because right now moderates don't feel like they have those assurances.
Yes, we can give assurance that it will be 100% paid for. That's what we have seen for Moody's, as I just mentioned. That's what we put out, numbers ourselves, the scores ourselves, to show that it'll be more than paid for, but to pay for the bill. And so we are confident. We are keeping that promise.
To that point of what the arguments that the moderates are making, they've made an argument similar to how you started. Yeah. You started by saying that there's these positive economic numbers, these positive job numbers, and that might be indication that such a big spending package just isn't necessary right now. So what's your answer to that? This is actually plays to what they're saying.
So two parts. What I was saying is that the jobs numbers that we saw today is an improvement. We're seeing that the economy is moving forward, and the reason why is because of the American Rescue Plan. That American Rescue Plan, that historic bill that the president passed and only Democrats voted for, actually put money in people's pockets.
Why are faith-based child care centers not eligible? I'm asking a legitimate question here. Why are faith-based child care centers not eligible for Build Back Better money to make renovations to their facilities?
Just go ahead. Ask your question.
I
As expected, a number of states have filed suit against the administration over this vaccine requirement for workers at work.
Build Back Better, why are faith-based child care centers not eligible for Build Back Better money to make renovations to their facilities?
Yeah, for sure.
The president, when he was overseas, suggested.
Can I ask you a question on Ethiopia?
Who else?
Can I ask you a question on Ethiopia? Ethiopia is on the brink of a civil war.
Excuse me.
No, but I'm asking you a question.
I understand. Go ahead. Go
Isn't it better
ahead.
to allow for democracy, to allow more reporters to ask questions?
Go ahead, Eugene. Ask the question.
More reporters to be allowed to ask questions?
I am. I haven't taken up. Eugene. Go ahead, Eugene. Go ahead.
On to what you're talking about COVID. So what's the percentage we need to get to? What's the number we need to get to of Americans vaccinated before we do get to the pandemic?
Eugene, I understand your question and I get it. I get to wanting to get a sense of the herd immunity, but that's not our focus right now. Our focus is to make sure that we do everything that we can to get people vaccinated.
Build Back Better and the BIF and whatever the letter.
I know. Build Back Better, and if when Build Back Better, when Biff, there's so many B's. If the infrastructure bill, something's funny. Hello. All right, everyone. Happy Friday. All right. It's been a long week, guys.
What is the Granholm plan to increase oil production in America?
Oh my God, that is hilarious. Would that I had the magic wand on this. As you know, of course, oil is a global market. It is controlled by a cartel. That cartel is called OPEC, and they made a decision yesterday that they were not going to increase beyond what they were already planning.
We need to keep driving vaccinations up.
Yeah, it's not a mandate, number one, and it's a test. It's a vaccine or testing. So we're a little different than what we're seeing around the country, number one. And number two, where mandates have actually gone into play in companies, a lot of people eventually get the vaccine. They're not leaving the job market. I don't think 37% of the populace that's saying that they're not going to get vaccinated or tested, they're going to leave the job market.